Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. This is your latest Manchester United news as we hear that Rasmus Højlund's injury is worse than expected. So it's bad news, I have to say, but we're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about outgoings. Basically, it's all outgoings at the moment at Manchester United. We're going to talk about Harry Maguire, Donny van de Beek, Scott McTominay, Fred. Plenty to talk about in that as well. As usual, get your thoughts into the comment section below. Let's get into it. So yeah, let's get right into it, guys. As you can see on the screen, anybody watching on YouTube, Rasmus Højlund's injury is more serious than Manchester United first feared. And it's basically the worst news we could have possibly got a week before the start of the transfer window, I suppose. Let me just fix this camera. Give me 1 second. There we go. So yeah, I mean, it's now look. We did know that he had a slight injury. We heard that when he was unveiled against Lens on Saturday. That he does have a slight injury, and you know he's going to miss the first couple of games of the season. Reports coming out today in the Daily Mail are suggesting that the injury is more serious than first thought. Let's get straight into it here. This is coming from where are we? Mike Hughes explains that the 20-year-old is nursing a back injury that will see his playing time greatly curtailed. Mail Sport has learned that an MRI scan conducted as part of the Danish striker's medical last week revealed a stress response hotspot in his back, which can be the start of a stress fracture in young players. The 20-year-old has already been ruled out of featuring for Erik ten Hag's side in their opening 2 games of the season against Wolves and Spurs, with some sources at United indicating that the issue is more serious than the club first disclosed after completing his transfer from Atalanta last week. Mail Sports learns, however, that the back problem was picked up during his medical, which led to Hojlund being sent for an MRI, although clubs seeking second opinions is not unusual in a transfer of that magnitude. So yeah, it goes on to say then that medical sources outside the club, however, have told the Mail Sport that such injuries require careful management and have suggested it is unlikely that Hojlund will be able to play 2 matches a week for some time for fear of developing into a stress fracture, which would lead to a lengthy layoff. So basically what this is saying is while Manchester United and Rasmus Højlund and Erik ten Hag are not going to be able to play, or he's not going to be able to play for the first 2 league games of the season, he's also not going to be able to be rushed back at all. You know, coming back straight away, like, you know, he was first thought, first 2 games back in, then straight away. It's now, according to these reports, are suggesting that he's going to have to be nursed back. I mean, the fact that he's not going to be able to play 2 games a week. Now, look, we do know, obviously, the Premier League is starting thick and fast. You know, once September rolls around, you know, we're into Champions League football. You're talking 2 games a week. So you also have early Carabao Cup games and things like that as well. So the fact that these reports are suggesting he's not going to be able to play 2 games a week for some time yet is quite worrying. And the reason being is, look, we know, and we've said it previously, that this guy is not going to have to, we're not expecting him to lead the line for 55 games next season. You know, he's going to have to be used sparingly, used right, because he's young. You don't want to put too much pressure on him either. And I think the fact that we're so short in forward areas, especially in the number 9 area, is quite worrying. It's probably going to mean that Marcus Rashford is going to play through the centre a lot more, which we know is probably not a positive thing because he prefers to play on the left. But every cloud, because it probably means that maybe Garnacho is going to get more game time starting off the left-hand side. He was very impressive in pre-season. So there are pros and cons to it all. Let's see what people have to say in the chat here. Great to see so many people in. Do smash a like on the video as well, guys. Let's see. Where are we starting? Robbie says, hope you enjoyed the Liberty Bell and made it back from Ryan's. Oh, yeah, appreciate it, Robbie. Yeah, nice meeting you, man. We did. We had 1 or 2 and then we went home. So We were quite full. Oshin says, good evening, everyone. I reckon it's a Ten Hag masterclass. Keeping him under wraps. I would not put it past Eric Ten Hag. I really wouldn't. Let's see. Oshin says, just ordered 3 jerseys of the kit man. Can't wait. Love to see it. Love to see it. Chris is in. Good evening. Oshin, yeah, he's there as well. I ordered 3 on Sunday. Let's see. David is in. Good to see you, David. Would United really buy him knowing how bad it is? Is it just usual sensationalism from the media? Again, look, we take everything we say here with a pinch of salt. You know, we discuss these topics, and you know, kind of everybody has their own way of looking into it. Again, I tend to agree with you, David. I don't think Manchester United would have spent 70 million pounds on a 20-year-old if they thought there was long-term issues with his back or something like that. Now, you know, is he going to miss 2 or 3 more games maybe than we initially thought? Maybe so. But over the space of a potentially 6+ year contract at Manchester United, it's a drop in the ocean, really, isn't it? So, you know, we do have to take everything with a pinch of salt. Luke says, love the third kid, Keno revealing it too. I'm going to talk about it in a few minutes. That piece of content coming out from Manchester United is the greatest piece of content I've ever seen. Keno, boy, you know. So you think you're a devil? Deadly, boy. Deadly. Let's see. Yeah, guys are talking about the kits there. Arsenal is in. It says Charity Shield winners. yeah, if that's all you're going to win this season, I think. Christopher is in. He says, hi, is Maguire sold? We're going to get on to Maguire now in one moment. Dan is in as well. Good to see you, Dan. Ben says, bus tour for you Arsenal fans at last. Stumpy is in as well. Good to see you, pal. Chris says, we are back to square one. No striker except Rashford. And the jigsaw that is Anthony Martial. Oshin says, United have history in buying guys with Niggles, Van Nistelrooy and Hargreaves spring to mind. And David says, also very glad you condemned the Maguire abuse, unlike Tom Haldinho. Glad the boos were drowned out by lots of applause. I thought it was disgraceful. I really did. I have no time for people booing current Manchester United players, regardless of how good or bad they are. They're putting on the jersey. They deserve the support. They're not going out and doing it on purpose. And I think, I think as long as a player is putting on a Manchester United jersey and giving his all for the club, then he deserves support. And at the very least, he doesn't deserve to be booed by his own fans. I thought it was disgraceful. I really did. Anyway, look, bad news in relation to Rasmus Højlund, but while we're talking about Harry Maguire, let's, you know, obviously there's a lot of talk over the last couple of days about him as well. Harry Maguire keen to join West Ham this summer. So a number of different reports coming out, and we'll talk about this guy as well in a minute. So basically, look, we do know that Manchester United and Harry Maguire are more than likely going to part ways this summer. And, you know, I think I just speaking about it a second ago, I didn't like that he was booed, but that doesn't mean that I want him to stay either. I think it is time for him to go. I think a clean break between him and Manchester United is needed. I think Manchester United need it, and I think Harry Maguire needs it just as much as well. I think, you know, obviously he's got to think about, you know, the European Championships that are coming up next summer. He's also got to think about, you know, am I even going to get into this Manchester United team? Probably not. So, look, I think it's time that he leaves. But, let's go down through the article here. Where are we? Let's see. Despite losing the captain's armband in the summer, the 30-year-old has been a model professional, but his displays on the pitch and pre-season have been far from satisfactory. And I just want to double down on that, actually, because I've said it on a number of different videos now. And I mentioned it when, you know, all of that booing was going on. Maguire has been so professional throughout all of this, you know, you would say difficult period at Manchester United. You know, he's had a really, really tough time on the pitch and off the pitch. And I think he's been nothing short of a brilliant example for any young players going into the game in terms of how you should carry yourself and how you should, just how you should react to anything. And I don't want to dwell on it too much. I think he's been a really good professional for Manchester United in terms of his attitude and his how he's carried himself. But we know you're always going to be judged on what happens on the pitch. West Ham have seen 2 bids of 20 million and 30 million get rejected by United for the player that paid 80 million back in 2019. Everton are also interested. Now, it says here that Harry Maguire has indicated he is keen to join West Ham if the Hammers can agree a fee with Manchester United. West Ham have made a 30 million bid for Maguire. Now, potential stumbling block. Yeah, United are ready to offload Maguire, and West Ham are optimistic they can strike a deal for the centre-back. West Ham will not cover his $190 a week wages, but it is hoped they can come to an agreement with the player. There's talks of in or around 100 grand a week at West Ham for Harry Maguire, and I think that would probably, seal a deal. I really do. I think. Look, he's obviously not going to be getting the same kind of wages as he is at Manchester United. But look, I think if we can go out, if we can get 30 to 35 million for him, maybe 30 million plus add-ons, I would be happy with that. I really would, because you can go and reinvest that into the squad. And if we're talking about who we reinvest it into, we're talking about this guy, and there has been some strong reports, and the reports are getting stronger and stronger as the days goes on in relation to this guy, Jean-Claude Todibo. Now, RMC Sport journalist Fabrice Hawkins is reporting that Manchester United are in discussions with Nice over the signing of Todibo, and of course, it also came out by Fabrizio Romano on Monday that Todibo is being targeted as a replacement for Harry Maguire. So basically, we've said this before, haven't we? And we've said it a good few times over the last, I'd say maybe 2 to 3 weeks, that it's going to be outgoings now before any more incomings. I think it's. I mean, I don't really know how close we are to this FFP kind of, borderline. Are we borderline on it? Are we just, I don't know. But according to Manchester United more than anyone else, that it is going to have to be players out basically before any new players come in. We do know that Manchester United and Amrabat United are, going after him. And I think one will cover the other. I think if we can get midfielders out, I think we can cover it with another midfielder. If we can get a defender out, we can cover it with, signing a new defender with that. So I think Maguire for Todibo, maybe Fred and Donny van de Beek for Amrabat, or maybe Scott McTominay, who we'll talk about as well in a minute. So yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. Look, like we said here, Fabrizio Romano says Manchester United had contacts to be informed on the conditions of Jean-Claude Todibo deal. No bids or talks at this stage, as the option could only be activated if Harry Maguire leaves. Juventus already left the race for Todibo last week. So that came out from Fabrizio Romano yesterday as well. Sorry, let me just increase the size of that there as well for people to see. So yeah, I mean, look, it is. I like this player, I have to say. We've been linked with him before, and by all accounts, he is a very, very good up and coming defender. And I think it would be a huge upgrade to get Maguire off the books and get this guy in. I haven't heard an awful lot about a transfer fee for Todibo, but I mean, I think the majority of Manchester United fans will be delighted with this deal. Let's see what people are saying here. Christopher says, wow, I love our third kit. Oshin says, get a 35 million bid in for him. Job done. Get it done nice and early. Let's see. Let me see. Aaron says, evening all. Great unveil by Keno. Let's hope Hojlund is ready sooner rather than later. We don't have an easy start to the season, and pre-season proves we need a goal scorer. Absolutely. Chris says, Anthony goes out and gets a goal and an assist. He is not a finished product, but he goes out and gives his all on the field. Maguire has been a model pro in fairness. Can't fault anything you said there, says Oshin. Chris also says we just need to sell and be done. Ben says, the abuse Maguire gets, got to say he's 100% professional. Not many players would accept that abuse and carry on like he does. Dan says, Man United have struggled bringing defenders through. Twanzebe, Mengi, both look great, but they don't step up. Oshin says, missed a lot of news over the weekend. Have we cooled on Amrabat? Well, I think it's out before in, Oshin, more than anything else. And I think we're just trying to get deals done, and we'll talk about it in a moment for the likes of Donny van de Beek and maybe Scott McTominay even as well, going to West Ham potentially. Eric is in. Good to see you, Eric. Chris says we have not cool on Amrabat, just waiting for some players to leave. Todibo is around 35 million, he says as well. And I think Amrabat, as in Fred and McSauce, goes, says Ben. Let's see what people on TikTok are saying here. The Ginger Ninja says United will start looking for a striker again, maybe put in a bid for Kane. I don't think we will. I think the rumours coming out in the last 24 hours or so is that Kane is not overly pushed on going to Bayern Munich. And I think United are just sitting back going, lovely, stay. We'll take on a free next year. I don't know if any of you watched the overlap today, the fan debate, but basically Neville and Carragher were both saying the same thing, that they think Kane would be absolutely crazy to leave and go to Bayern Munich for a couple of Bundesliga titles. He should stay and, really go for Alan Shearer's record. Let's see. Z is in. He says, Carlo in the house, up the Reds. Charlie's there as well. Let's see. Liam says, what are your thoughts of Sancho on Sunday? Yeah, look, I mean, the game on Sunday was poor all round, really. But Sancho was probably the main standout, you would have to say. Django says, are you mad? His comments post-games are a disgrace, and he got locked up in Greece. Well, there was one comment he made that I didn't agree with, that I don't have to prove anything to anybody. That's the only comment I didn't agree with, but I think he's been the utmost professional. The majority of people are agreeing. I think there was too much expectation on him to perform to his price tag, says Martinetti. Let's see. What else have we got? Next centre-back signing is very important, says Dave. Midges Man says, Anthony, to me, is a one-trick pony. Sancho should be out there on that wing. Sizzle says, what do you think about Amrabat and Todibo? Happy with both if we can get them. How many times has Maguire made the same or similar mistake as he made on Sunday? Consistency. Yeah, look, there's nobody dismissing the fact that he is not good enough for Manchester United, but booing him is something I don't agree with. Chris, thank you for the 9 months. Legend, he says, let's go. Keane ad was the greatest. We need a Red Devil sticker. 9 months and still going. Absolutely. Appreciate the support as always, guys. If anybody else wants to become an official member of the United Community channel on YouTube, link is in the description of the video. And all of our official channel members this year have the opportunity to come on and come on to the match reaction video after each game this season. So if it's something you think you'd be interested in, of course, coming on the screen, giving your opinions, giving your thoughts, link is in the description. Go check out the options. But just to make you aware, you do have to be over 18 to come on with us. So there we go. Oshin says, Kane is staying at Spurs. The only thing I'm worried about is next year when he's free, will be able to match his reported wages. Well, look, I mean, there was reports of upwards of 400 grand a week he was looking for, which I think is crazy. And now, look, I do think if Manchester United sign Harry Kane, we're instantly challenging for the league title. I would go as far as saying that. But I think, I mean, even this time next year, I couldn't see anybody but United really going for him, unless Darwin Núñez has another flop season, for example, and Liverpool decide maybe to cash in on him and go for Kane, or if Newcastle get into the top four again, or I couldn't see him going anywhere else in London. Chelsea, of course, not Arsenal. So look, I think United would be probably favourites again next summer if he is going on a free. John is in. He says, even all, worryingly, we're going to be struggling for goals again this season by the looks of it. Chris says Kane is going nowhere. Levy going to screw it up, and Kane will leave on a free. Bye-bye, Levy. Well, the one thing I would say is, and it was mentioned today on the overlap, and I thought it was a very, very good comment out of Gary Neville. He said that Daniel Levy is playing chess here. He said because he has a feeling that Harry Kane is going to reject a move from Bayern Munich. So Daniel Levy is trying to save face and reject the bid before Harry Kane has the opportunity to reject the move. So they're kind of playing chess. It's back and forth between both of them. Luke says, what's the story on Greenwood? Don't want him back, but Fabrizio said something about news coming out. Yeah, look, there were some videos of Mason Greenwood is training on his own, but I think it's still the 14th was the deadline that an announcement was going to be made. Jock says, we need to start the season, get off well. Hopefully, we get the win against Wolves. Looking forward to the Premiership watch-alongs being back. Yeah, so if you're new to the channel, guys, make sure you are subscribing. We're back with Manchester United watch-alongs this upcoming Monday, so I'm absolutely buzzing for it. We're back tomorrow night with the podcast as well, by the way. Myself and Ricey are back on. We're going to be doing our Premier League predictions. We're doing our relegation predictions, top 6 predictions, goal scored, players of the year, all of that kind of stuff. We're going to be doing that tomorrow night as well, so make sure you're subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out. Aaron says, who else is counting down the days for Monday Night Football? Can't wait. Absolutely buzzing. As well, by the way, make sure you're joining our Fantasy Premier League also. Anybody on TikTok, the link is on my homepage. Just click on it, scroll all the way down to the bottom. You'll see the 2 leagues. We've got a classic league and a head-to-head league. And I'll put it up on the in the chat here in YouTube as well. So make sure you're joining, guys. The winner of each league gets a replica jersey of their choice at the end of the season as well. So make sure you are getting involved. There is one of them. And let me get you the other one now. This is the head-to-head one. Now, there we go. So anybody watching on YouTube, the 2 codes are there. So get involved. Finn says Kane doesn't want a Bundesliga title. He wants a Prem. He's United bound on a free next season. Luke says Kane will have the Van Persie effect. Ben says a signing on fee will sort the wages out for Kane. Aaron says, why couldn't we pay Kane what he wants if we don't pay an 80 million signing fee? Christopher says a 4th bid for Kane is on the table from the German side. Aaron says, I seen the Kane yoke. It was actually, what was it actually about? Yeah, so basically, Kane is playing hardball. I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's a hard one, but Tottenham have rejected the latest bid of 100 million from Bayern Munich. So yeah. Oshin says, wasn't Levy told to sell him by the owner to make something on him? Yeah, I know. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. You never know. United could come in at the end of the transfer window and go, right, here you go. We'll give you 80 million. Bosh. Job done. Chris says the report was that Spurs didn't want to lose him for free. Should be interesting. Chelsea may put up a huge bid for him while they can, since Nkunku is gone for 4 months. Maybe so. Good point on that as well. Right, let's move it on, guys. And I do want to talk about Scott McTominay real quick. While we're on the Harry Maguire to West Ham, Scott McTominay as well. Manchester United have rejected West Ham's 30 million bid for Scott McTominay. United value the midfielder at more than 40 million. Talks ongoing between United and West Ham over Maguire after 30 million bid made for the defender. And that's coming from Laurie Whitwell. So, look, I think United are probably right in holding out for more than 30 million because, I mean, Scott McTominay is what? He's 26, 27 years of age. I think he's probably worth around the 40 million mark, considering what some players are going for. If Declan Rice is worth 105 million, surely Scott McTominay is worth 40. You know, if you put it into that kind of perspective, I think it's quite an easy decision. But for United, they don't specifically have to go out. Now, I would love them to go out and just make sure I didn't mute the microphone again. I would love them to maybe move Scott McTominay on and bring in an Amrabat, because I think Amrabat is a better player than Scott McTominay, no questions. But, I mean, if you asked me, if we go into the upcoming season with Scott McTominay as a backup, am I happy with that? I'm not over the moon, but I'm not overly disappointed either. I think, I mean, it could be better, and I think we should be going for better. But there's only a certain amount of business you can get done in one transfer window. I would like to see him move on, and I would like to for us to get in a replacement that is, a better footballer. Because I mean, the thoughts of Scott McTominay, as a double pivot with Casemiro at Anfield, it just doesn't fill me full of confidence. Or at the Etihad or the Emirates, wherever it may be. You give me Casemiro and Amrabat as, two holding midfielders, going away to them tough grounds. Yeah, I've got more confidence now going into these games. So I would like to see him move on. I would like to see him go. He's been a brilliant servant for Manchester United. He's not good enough, and again, we go back to the sentimentality aspect of it. A lot of people might want him to stay, and that's okay. You're absolutely entitled to want him to stay. But are you wanting him to stay because he's good enough, or are you wanting him to stay because he's a academy graduate, and we can't rely on sentimentality like that anymore. So I do think it's a good idea if we move him on and go and reinvest it again. Here it is again from Jacob Steinberg. He says, Man United value Scott McTominay at 45 million and West Ham could switch focuses to other midfield targets as they are not optimistic in securing McTominay. So again, it's been played from both sides. You can see United's standpoint from it. They're trying to They're trying to I suppose, reposition themselves within the transfer market over, I suppose, how poorly we were looked at over the last 10 years. Manchester United now want to be the club that go, oh, well, either you pay what we want or we're not selling. You're not going to lowball us anymore. We're not going to, be made mugs of in the transfer window. And I think that's spot on, I have to say. But you also have to understand as well that everybody knows that West Ham have a big £105 million hole burning in their back pocket. So I think United are well within their rights to hold out for what they value the player to be, not what West Ham value him to be. But I think there is a common ground. Of course there is. Sit down at the negotiating table. Don't lose West Ham. Keep him there. But say, look, 30 million is not enough. We value him at 45. Let's go with 35 plus 5 in add-ons or something. You know what I mean? And everybody is happy. We reinvest the money. We get Amrabat in. We win the league. Anyone disagree? Anyway. Chris says, please sell McMuffin 35 plus 5. Yeah, there we go. Finn says, Finn says, if Martial wasn't broke down, he'd be ideal for Spurs. He even looks like a Spursy player. Yeah, because he's always injured. Oshin says, if we could do a package deal and get 65 for both, I'd be happy. Hard to do, I know, but it'd be good business. And there was talks about that a couple of days ago that United wanted, was it 75 to 80 million they wanted between for both, I think, or something like that, or maybe. Yeah, I think it was 70 to 75 million or something. Chris says Rice is 4 years younger than McMuffin. Yeah, I know, but he's not 65 million pound better than him. You know what I mean? McMuffin on the field against Burnley gives me the shakes. Ushin says, I'd be worried about McTominay versus not Nahini, number one. Chris says, as much as, let's see. Oh, here we go. As much as we love safety whistle, let him go. Arsenal says, do you think Maguire and McTominay would be good for West Ham? I think they would have very good careers at West Ham. Yeah, especially Maguire. I've said this before. His issue is that Manchester United play on the halfway line, and a ball going in over the top for Harry Maguire, he's lost. He turns like a 18-wheel truck. And I think if you put him on the edge of the box where he's facing the ball all of the time in a team that plays a low block, I think he's a good footballer, and I think that's why he attracted so much attention at Leicester, you know, and how we got stung for paying 80 million for him, you know. But anyway, let's move it on. And some good news in relation to current players at Manchester United, and it's in relation to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Man United intend to open formal talks with Wan-Bissaka over a new contract. United are preparing discussions with his representatives, which are scheduled to commence after the current transfer window closes. This is brilliant news, I have to say. It really, really is great news. When you look at Wan-Bissaka and where he was 12 months ago, he was out the door 12 months ago. Goodbye, down the road. Ten Hag was just saying, you know, I don't rate you, you're gone. And he put his head down and he worked hard, and fair play to him. He's pretty much Manchester United's number one right back now. And I think the low on the weekend against Lens, giving that ball away for when Onana got lobbed, is not going to help his case at all. I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is going to be our first choice right back this year. I've been really, really impressed with him in pre-season, especially with his link-up play, his 1-2s, his first touch, his range of passing. It's all after improving, even over the short period of time that he has been United's number one, say the second half of last season up until now. I've been really, really impressed with him, I have to say. And I played fullback myself, and I love a fullback who likes defending. And you do not get a better one-on-one defender. I mean, name me a better one-on-one defender in world football than Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I'll wait. Anybody? I don't think there is one. I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is the best one-on-one defender in the world. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure people in the comments will, but I think he deserves this new contract that hopefully he gets because, yeah, now look, down the line, we might go for another right back and he might be backup. Maybe so. You never want to be resting on your laurels. But in terms of him getting a new contract, he deserves it. He deserves it. Now, let me just jot something down here real quick. Oh, I got the Man United. I got the Man United membership pack today. Here we go. So, for anybody curious to what you get, let me just open it up here. I meant to do a TikTok about it earlier, but I forgot. But how in the name of Jesus? This opened perfectly earlier on. So, yeah, Man United premium membership. Fuck the Glazers, by the way. So, you get a coaster. Manchester United coaster, which is nice. You get a pen. Get a woolly hat for all them Champions League nights in Old Trafford. And then you also get a water bottle. So I got a water bottle last year as well, actually, I think. So yeah, membership pack arrived. It's nice. It's nice, I have to say. Happy enough with it now. I won't lie. So I had to, because I'm a season ticket holder, to renew your season ticket, you have to be a member. So I had to become a member. Well, this is my second year, so, but yeah, it's cool. I like it. A live unboxing. I'll box the head off you. But anyway, the only thing that I think is a scummy move out United is that you have to pay both the postage and packaging and the import charges on it. So yeah, like you get an email off of on post saying pay the custom charges or else, you know, we're going to bin your item. So yeah, there's the Glazers for you now. But yeah, nice little yoke there. Let's see what people are saying here about Wan-Bissaka. Let's see. Oshin says, delighted. I was happy to see Wan-Bissaka go last year, but now he's almost a first name on the sheet kind of guy. Absolutely. My man, United's number one right back all day, says Ben. Cottle says, Delo was class before the World Cup. Hopefully he can push Wan-Bissaka for that spot at right back. Absolutely, Cottle, I agree. And I think the more competition we have, the better, you know. Like, I remember going back to even, like, say, the 90s and look at the 99 season, for example. United had 4 strikers that were just all on it, you know, and all fighting for 2 positions. And that's what you want. You want healthy competition like that. Chris says his link-up play has gotten much better, but his passes and runs go nowhere. When he overlaps, he receives the ball only to pass it back to where he came from. Oshin says, never knew you played as a fullback. You kept that quiet. Wan-Bissaka allows Anthony or Sancho or whoever stays forward because he's just so comfortable. Exactly. He gives us that bit of freedom. And I think he's playing a lot higher up the field. We've seen it in pre-season that he's been playing nearly up on the halfway line. At one stage, Onana had the ball. I think it was against Arsenal or Dortmund, or it was one of the, it was either, I think it was Madrid maybe. Wan-Bissaka, Onana was on the ball. Was it Onana? I think, yeah, that was Onana's first game, I think. Anyway, Onana was on the ball, and Wan-Bissaka was actually our most advanced player on the field. He was right up in the center or on the right wing position with Anthony slightly tucked in. So, yeah, look, I'm all for it. And the likes of Onana coming in is going to allow him to play more further up the field. So, you know, hopefully we'll see that side of his game continue to improve as well. Aaron says, not many better than one-on-one at the back. Did see Wilf Zaha's comment, oh no, it's Aaron, a little more work on his attacking play and he'll be one of the best. Yeah, absolutely. Another first for UCC. That's more a Brexit issue, in fairness. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I just using it as an excuse to give out with the Glazers. That's all. Thoughts on Raya and Ramsdale at Arsenal? I hope they all fall out. But look, competition is competition, isn't it? Let's move it on, guys. Last few bits to talk about. So let's talk about Hannibal for a moment here. Manchester United youngster has impressed Ten Hag in pre-season. Permanent move now ruled out in relation to that. So that is good news. Now, I just seen something coming in. Did I see something coming in relation to it? There a minute ago. No, I didn't. So Manchester United youngster has impressed and a permanent move basically is now ruled out. So there was kind of talks whether or not Manchester United were going to let Hannibal go this summer on a permanent basis. But he's impressed. He's impressed, which is good. And I think rightly so. Now, I do think he should go out on loan this season because I think he is going to struggle to get into the Manchester United midfield. You look at the amount of players that can play in his area. We've got Bruno Fernandes, we've got Christian Eriksen, we've got Mason Mount, you know, and I think it's going to be quite difficult for him to get into the team. Oh, my goodness. What's going on here now? You just want to come in and say hello to everybody, don't you? Come on then, really quick. You're always interrupting my lives, aren't you? Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Say, come on, United.
Come on, United.
Good girl. You're getting better at that every night. Good girl. Now go on off to bed.
Come on, Barry.
Bye, Chloe. I love you. A hug? Yeah. Come on then, quickly. You have to stop interrupting my lives, so you do. I love you.
Come on,
now,
baby.
But I think I think go on, Messi. Dog is in here as well. Look, I do think it's important that Hannibal goes out on loan this season. There has been talks that he's been linked with Luton for a potential loan move, which I think would be very good. He had a good season last year for Birmingham City, and I think going to a Premier League side for the season is the right option. Now, he's probably going to get his arse handed to him most weeks if he's playing for Luton, but it'd be a very good learning curve for him. He'll play 30 plus games in the Premier League, you would hope. A few cup games, hopefully, here and there as well. So I think him going to the Premier League on loan, to a team in the Premier League on loan, would be very beneficial. I really do. Like, if we're looking next season, is Christian Eriksen going to be around this time next year? Who knows? Maybe he comes in then and goes head to head with the likes of Mason Mount for that position, or Bruno Fernandes, and you can pivot the three of them, all within the 8 and 10. So I think him going on loan is not a bad thing. I think he will come back a better player, and hopefully he can continue to improve, because I do think in the next few years there will be opportunities there for him. Saj, thanks for the gifts. Much appreciated, man. Much appreciated. Any updates on the sale of the club, says Dara? No, and the one thing I would say, Dara, about that is if there is an update on the sale of the club, I promise you will hear it before I tell you, because the whole world will be talking about it instantly. It's gone on for that long that, the fact that we haven't heard anything in months now, I think once we do get to the end game and it is announced, everybody will hear it straight away. The internet will explode. It really will. So, and of course we will be live once, and like I said before, once the Glazers sell the club, we're going to have a live. We're going to probably get drunk together and celebrate on the live. So, but yeah, there is talks. Maybe by November it should be done and dusted. So, I mean, what are we talking? 3 more months? Who knows? Donny van de Beek. Let's talk about him next. Manchester United outlined demands to La Liga club in talks for midfielder. So basically what this is we know that Donny van de Beek is one of the players that is subject to requirements at Manchester United, and Real Sociedad are in for him. They want to take him on a season-long loan with the option to buy. But basically Manchester United are saying that doesn't suit us one bit. No way, shape, or form. So what Manchester United are insisting on is that Donny van de Beek go to Real Sociedad on loan with an obligation to buy, which means the club will have to buy him. Now, there are some stipulations that can be, I suppose, inputted into the whole deal. Basically, Donny van de Beek, it goes from an option to buy to an obligation to buy after a certain amount of appearances for the club. Now, that I do worry about that, because I think basically what that means is Manchester United are sending him out on loan, and if it is 35 games before it turns into an obligation to buy, they're just going to go, we're not playing it this week. You know what I mean? If he doesn't hit the ground running over there and they decide we don't want him, they're just going to bench him and leave him on the bench for the remainder of the season. And not only would that be detrimental to Man United trying to get him off the books, but that would be detrimental to Donny van de Beek's career. Could you imagine if he had 30 games played and he wasn't, ripping it up, and Real Sociedad said, well, we've got, 8 games left in the league. We've probably got another couple of cup games. That's 10 games. You're not going to play any of them, because we don't want you next season. So, look, I think this whole obligation to buy needs to be clear and precise. And if it's not, then there's no point in sending him on loan. I would rather keep him, because if we send him on loan, we're probably going to pay the majority of his wages regardless while he's over there. He might as well be sitting on the bench for us, because, like we said, depth is going to be important within the Manchester United squad this year. And I think Donny van de Beek going on loan to Sociedad with an option to buy, it just doesn't benefit anybody on our end at Manchester United. So, yeah, I don't think that would be a good idea. Finally, we have to talk about this, don't we? We just have to talk about this. For anybody who didn't see it, let me just get that off the screen there. For anybody who didn't see the Manchester United third kit release video, go and watch it right now. Roy Keane is in it. I wish I could play it for you, but I don't know how to on this. I don't know how to save it off of Twitter. Yeah, it's absolutely unbelievable. So basically, Roy Keane is back. He has made an official Manchester United appearance for the first time in 18 years as he launched the club's 22-23 third kit. The former captain's successful stay at Old Trafford. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. The Irishman is seen in the video asking the current crop of players whether they have what it takes to be a true Red Devil. Reference to the return of the fan favorite Red Devil emblem on the jersey. We'll go through some of the things that he says in it. So you're a devil, are you? Well, let's remind you of the terms. The devil isn't something you wear. It's more like a pact, a deal, shall we say. It's not for everyone. We expect a lot. And as sure as the sun will rise, we will know if you mean it. So have a good long think. What do you get in return? What's on offer? It's Manchester United. I can't do the Cork accent, but that was more of a Dublin accent. But so there it is. No small print. Sign on the dotted line. But you've already signed, didn't you? Before you were even born. Fucking love it. Absolutely love it. So I do. It's absolutely brilliant. So it is. It really, really is. Go check it out if you haven't done so already. It makes me want to go out and buy the third kit now and wear nothing else for the rest of the season. Just because Keno had it on. You know, my favorite player of all time. And it's great to see him back involved with the club because he's one of our greatest ever players. And yeah, it's great to see. It really, really is. And I'm delighted. I'm delighted because I love him. He was my hero growing up, so happy days. Guys, please smash a like on the video if you haven't already done so. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're on the way to 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're on the way to 40,000 on TikTok, so please do help us out. Hit the follow button there as well. It's much appreciated. All you got to do is click there or wherever it is. I'm not too sure. Thanks for watching. Like I said, we're back tomorrow night with the first podcast of the season. We'll be live on live on YouTube for it. We're going to be giving our Premier League predictions, top goal scorers, relegation, top six, all of that kind of stuff. We're going to be talking about the transfer window, what teams have done well in it, what teams haven't, so on and so forth. Ricey is going to be back. Big season coming up. We're going to be doing as many of them as we can, hopefully every week. But yeah, I appreciate everybody watching. Again, we'll be back tomorrow. Keep an eye out for the lunchtime videos as well, guys. We do small, maybe 10-minute videos that we upload at 1 o'clock every weekday as well. Just your latest morning kind of news. We give it to you after lunch. So check that out in in the afternoons if you're on your lunch or whatever like that. And give it a like and put a comment in because it helps the algorithm. And then it puts us out to more people. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll chat to you tomorrow. Stay safe and see you soon. Take it easy.